Welcome back into the basement. Ben Ingram alongside Kevin McAlpin, and happy to have you with us. Kevin has donned some of his latest baseballism gear, looking sharp, looking dapper as always, and of course it is just about time for us to get down to Florida for some spring training. But first, we have Super Bowl 51. I don't know if you guys have caught the fever yet. Maybe some of you have who are here in Atlanta or Falcons fans. Some of you are probably outside of Atlanta. Maybe you're not even big Falcons fans at all. So we want to talk a little spring training today, talk a little Super Bowl stuff as well, because the Super Bowl's right around the corner. This city needs it, man. This will be a lot of fun to see these guys pull this thing off.
How about the way that you just see everyone come together? I mean, you see different teams. A couple of nights ago, the Braves had the big board on over at SunTrust Park, wishing the Falcons well. It's great for a city anytime you get something like this. Like you said, it brings everyone together. And, Atlanta is a city where there's so many people that aren't from here. And you're seeing folks from all across the country that are buying into this. And it's funny because there's folks all around the country that are now Falcons fans because they just can't stand the New England Patriots.
Exactly. The Patriot fans will root for the Patriots. The rest of the country, even though they might pull for other teams, are probably rooting for the Falcons because they want to gang up against the Patriots. So I know maybe our expertise is more in baseball than in football, but do you have a pick for the game? Any expectations?
I'm just going to say this. I think the team that turns the ball over is going to lose the game.
Smart man.
Hard-hitting analysis, I know. It's really stick to baseball. But I'll tell you what, if Julio Jones does what he did in the NFC Championship game, I think that you have a chance of seeing a parade in this town in a few days. I really do. Matt Ryan has been outstanding all season long. He's proven the doubters wrong time and time again. And this offense just continues to move the ball extremely well. It'll probably be a shootout, but again, I think if you put the ball on the ground, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
The only way I can trump that analysis, the team who scores the most points is undefeated in Super Bowl history. So I'm going to go with that. The team who scores the most points is 50-0 in the Super Bowl.
Are you sure about that?
I think so. I think that's confirmed.
Right.
I think, look, that's a team that's putting up a lot of points. They seem to hit 40 points routinely.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the Falcons. I'm thinking let's stick with that number. Let's go 40-34. And I know that Patriot fans are like, nobody does that to us. People don't score that many points against us. Maybe you have a fair point. I'm going with the Falcons to do what they do. I saw Matt Ryan hit 8 different receivers in that NFC Championship game. Yeah. So even if the Patriots do find a way to shut down Julio Jones, you still have a ton of other targets that he can hit. And I think they're going to get to Tom Brady a little bit. So I'm going to say whatever the over-under is, I'm thinking the over, and I'm liking the Falcons to win that thing.
So you're going to take the 3 points. I think I would take the points as well. I really do. It's going to be a very close game. It's so hard when you look at the history to go against Tom Brady, to go against Bill Belichick and all that they've done over the years. But I'm going to do it with you. I'm going to take the Falcons, and I really do think they have a very legitimate shot of winning this thing. And again, what a great thing it is for the city. I go down to Georgia Tech games, and I've heard Josh Pastner. By the way, props to Georgia Tech for what they're doing this year. 3 top 15 wins already over Carolina, Florida State, 2 of the more impressive, Notre Dame. So, he said it a couple days ago that, it's good for the whole city. It's good for the pro teams. It's good for Georgia Tech. It's good for recruiting. It's good for everyone. So I think that there's a realistic shot that there's going to be a parade at some point next week. So I would take the points, and I like your analysis as well. I do think it's going to be a very high-scoring game.
Let's do it. Falcons win the Super Bowl and have a parade next Tuesday. That would be fantastic. All right, we have spring training coming up in less than 2 weeks. As we do this video right now, it is February 1st, so we have 2 weeks till pitchers and catchers report. 2 weeks from today.
Yep.
Games are about 3.5 weeks from today. First game will be on the 25th, I think, against Toronto at Disney, if I'm not mistaken. So we're getting very close. And before we get to any of the spring training stuff, there are plenty of ways that you can find our coverage of Brave spring training and play-by-play. We get asked that so many times. If you're here locally in Atlanta, weekend games are on the full Atlanta Braves radio network. So if it's a Saturday or Sunday, you can find us on 680 The Fan throughout spring training. If it's a weekday game, that's going to be most likely on 1340 The Fan 3 here in Atlanta. I know in years past we've had games on 1230 The Fan 2 and 1340 The Fan 3. I think we're just on 1340 this spring. So if you can't find us on 1340, maybe double check 1230 just in case. But maybe the best place to catch us, MLB.com or the MLB At Bat app. Doesn't matter where you are. If there is a game going on, The Braves are one of a few teams who broadcast every single spring training game. So if we are playing, we are broadcasting. And whether it's Kevin or Jim or Don or Lemmer or me, we will have you covered. We'll have the play-by-play. Some combination of that fivesome will have the call of those games. So that's how you can find us over the course of spring training. And I know we only have a few minutes left on this video, but Kevin, just 2-3 quick storylines that you're really gearing up towards and really looking to put an eye on once we get down to Florida.
Well, I think first and foremost is that fifth spot in the rotation. You know, the Braves have really kind of remodeled and the whole look of this starting staff from where it was to the end of last season to where it is now going into camp. So first and foremost to me, I think, is who wins that fifth starter spot. I think we both feel like Mike Fultonevich is probably the leader in the clubhouse, but still, he's going to have to earn it. Nothing is going to be given to him. There's going to be a lot of guys, veteran like Josh Colemanter, or young guys like Matt Whistler, Aaron Blair, the list goes on, competing for that fifth spot. I think what the bench looks like is another storyline to follow, and then maybe 1 or 2 spots in the bullpen. So those are really the 3 storylines for me. But again, as we know, it all starts with starting pitching. So that for me is the biggest storyline of all. How about you?
Yeah, I agree. And more specifically, I'm going to go with Mike Fultonevich. I want to see how high he can ascend.
Yeah.
I think right now you feel like 1 through 5, Tehran, Colon, Garcia, Dickey, Fultonevich. To me, if it's not that fivesome to be in your rotation, something went wrong or something just completely out of the blue happened. I think you feel good about those 5 being the 5. It's the order that I'm really paying close attention to. And I know we throw Fulte in there for 5. I think he can ascend higher than that. I think he could be a really good spring training session away from being a 4 or a 3 in this rotation. I think that his high-end value, what he's available to do, what his ceiling is higher, in my opinion, than the ceilings for Colon, for Garcia, for Dickey. I think he can really shoot up there. So I want to see how high he can ascend over the span of spring training. Another thing I want to watch, like you mentioned, is the bullpen, because this is such a valuable entity for major league teams, coast to coast, because we have seen in years past where value has been put. Look at some of these contracts for some of these closers over the course of the offseason. Look at how much of a difference it made for the Indians and the Cubs to have the bullpens they had. I think that bullpen has got to be really, really good if you're going to find a way to be a 500 team or better in 2017. There are several good elements for this team. There are several good things that could have them propel much higher than where they were a year ago.
Yep.
But if you're asking me what the biggest difference is, if we get on the backside of this season and they win 81 games or more, and what we saw the past year, to me it would be the bullpen.
Yep.
And I think you have to see that. So I'm pretty confident in the rotation, giving you opportunities to win. I don't think those guys are going to go out there and be Cy Young Award winners or anything like that, but I think they give you an opportunity to win. I think the lineup is going to be pretty potent. I really do. So it comes down to the bullpen. And I feel pretty good about the other aspects of the game. And those are a few storylines I want to watch. One of the biggest storylines I'm ready to see is something that we will not see over the course of spring training. It's something that we'll have to wait until the second week of April to see, and that's to find out how this brand new ballpark plays.
Yep.
What does it look like when Freddie Freeman goes the opposite way deep? What does it look like when Matt Kemp is looking to pull a ball? What does it look like when Ender Inciarte is playing defense in center field? I think those are all elements that are unknown and will remain unknown. So those are some of the things that I'm really tracking going into spring training and then on the back half of spring training as well.
Well, and how like you said, how the field plays. You know, you and I have been over there a number of times lately, and the one thing I know we both recognized right off the bat, there's not a ton of foul ground.
Right.
When you look down the lines, so for fans, it's great because you're right on top of the action. You're extremely close. But again, how that plays out, especially behind the backstop, there's not a ton of room there. So wild pitches, I'll be very curious to see if guys can actually get a base on them, because that ball might come back pretty quickly to the catcher.
Yeah, it really may. So there are a lot of things that we'll have to get adjusted to, see how they play. I know we're going to be interested to see what happens on the field. I know we're going to be interested to see what the scene is like in the chop house and the talent on and off the field, if you know what I mean. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
This guy.
We're gonna have a blast. There are a lot of unknowns about 2017 that I think are exciting to think about and figuring it all out. So we're very pumped up about it. I know we'll have one more show from Kevin's basement sometime next week, and then after that, we will let you into our home down in Florida, because it is Animal House-esque. it's
depending on who you ask.
Right, exactly. It's got the potential to get nuts. I'll say that, because you've got Kevin. Jay Chad from the Buck and Kincaid Show, Brian Giffen, Grandma Giffen, our in-game producer, and myself living in the same house. So we try not to kill each other, and we try to make it for 7 weeks in the same house. But we'll do some shows for spring training. We'll invite you in, and we will have a lot of fun.
This sounds like it could be a TV show. It really does.
It could be. That's a reality show that we should probably pitch to someone.
Yeah.
They would take. Giffen would be the star. And
Guaranteed.
We might have to be on Cinemax or HBO if that's going to be the case. Hopefully he doesn't see this. It's a joke. But that's our show for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find all our videos on 680thefan.com. For Kevin, I'm Ben. Talk to you later. Bye.